Alrighty, welcome to another ALTTP No Major Glitches tournament match. It's BrewersFanJP versus greenlinenshirt, and on commentary we have TMB and NY Rambler. Take it from here, guys.
Yeah, hope everybody's having a good night.
Yep, stay tuned for it's going to be a really good race here between these two runners here.
Yeah, definitely. This is a loser's bracket match, so whoever loses is unfortunately out of the tournament. And the winner gets to move on to, another match in a couple of days probably, and still going to be in loser's bracket. So from here, a lot of people...
Yeah, that opponent will be the winner of this match gets Kelpsy in the next round.
Yeah, which, I mean, at this point, pretty much every match should be pretty even in terms of, what to expect.
Yeah. A little backstory between these two runners. I know greenlinenshirt was the 64 seed coming in, so he was the last person in to the second grouping of brackets, PB of 135.10. JP, at the time, was the 66 seed, the second person in the final grouping of the groups. The PB at the time, I think, was 135.28 or something like that. But in the third race of groups, JP got a new PB of 133.17.
Yeah, good stuff.
2-minute PB. He also PB'd in the race against me by about a few seconds. So. I don't know too much about greenlinenshirt's background. I know JP is a big time randomizer runner. Very well known in the randomizer community. Dipping his toes here in NMG a little bit, and pretty decent results so far, I must say.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was just reading something in the race chat. But yeah, I mean, like you said, randomizer players, they don't always have a reason to come over and play NMG, right? So
yeah,
this is just an opportunity for a lot of them to kind of, put it all together. Maybe sit down and take a look at a few rooms that they have thought about looking at, but just never wanted to.
Yeah, because a lot of time, I guess because as a randomizer player, you know that from you commentating my last race, that, we might do things that seem a little out of place because we're usually doing things different every time. And when you're NMG, you're doing things the same time every time. But sometimes that can translate both ways. I mean, look at Ari. I think Ari was a randomizer player first, and now he's, fourth on the total leaderboard and the number one seed in this tournament.
Yeah, not even just Ari, but also Boyne, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Boyne.
And then in this tournament, we have a few other probably bigger name players like Kyung and Jem, I think are big in the rando community as well.
Yes, but they're also really good NMG runners, so they're really good in both games.
Yeah, so it does translate a little bit one way and the other, or both ways, I guess, but...
It does go both ways, because, Doomtap and Foxless face rando now, so,
Well, not to badger Fox too much, but I watched him have a pretty rough run.
So. Were you watching the spoiler race yesterday? Because I was also having a rough time yesterday with that. I died a cold stare, but that's besides the point.
He died a cold stare 2 or 3 times, so...
Anyway, we have a race on our hands now.
So...
Greenlinenshirt and JP. So it looks like that their PBs, at least for their current PBs, I don't know if they've both ever gotten a sub-6 escape. That's usually what the goal is.
I mean, obviously you want it, right? You want every split to be as fast as possible. But it's like, sub-6 escape means you're losing maybe 8 or 10 seconds to what, has ever been done fastest by a human. Whereas a lot of the later splits, you're going to be losing closer to 40 seconds, a minute, maybe more than that even. So
yeah, I know Ari was badgering me because I told him I really want to get a sub-6 escape because I never got one before, and he was like, "Well, worried about getting a sub-8 Agga Tower first."
Agga Tower is definitely, basically the rule is the later we go in this game, the harder the split's going to be.
Oh yeah. But both these runners are going to be pretty much doing the same things here. Their strats might be slightly different. You never know. I mean, I know myself, I do a different strat for key guard because I can never get it consistently the fast way.
Yeah. Probably expect both runners to do the up slash here. And yeah, they are doing it. Definitely the easiest strat to do in that room. And like you mentioned, doing it consistently, right? That's the goal. So... With that said, consistency is the goal, but we are going to have to react to a lot of RNG pretty much everywhere. Luckily, holding your sword out here to charge his spin kind of negates a lot of the RNG that guard will give you. Same with, like that sword was held just a bit late on Green Linen Shirt side.
Yeah, both those were a little trouble there with the blue guard, but they got out of there at reasonable times.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, if you don't die in a run, it's a good run. And this is really kind of the first chance for anything catastrophic to happen is right here. Yeah, we're seeing a 1-pot 4/, which is pretty good on Green Linen Shirt side, executed well. 8/ executed pretty decently here. Just a couple of minor things that you can improve, but hey, you didn't get hit. That's good.
Yeah. In the tournament, I always did 1-pot 4/, but when I'm doing like regular streams and trying to get PBs, I 8/. Tournaments do make you do some different things because you can't reset.
Yeah, definitely. Like me, I skip Sankheart if I'm going for PBs because, you know, why not? But here, the extra health, that kind of thing, it's just not a strat you would do in a PB, like you said. But yeah, when we're just walking as Link here, there's nothing too interesting going on in terms of like mechanics. If we get into it, your hands will hate you, so we're not going to.
Yeah, as an amateur NMG runner, I just know press right a lot when you're going up. That's all I know.
That's pretty much it. It's pretty tiring to do it a lot, which is why I'm really glad that the run will get boots, and we can start going fast in about 7 minutes here. So we're kind of looking forward to that. And we did see a bit there with the green guard hallway. You can see Green Linen Shirt took a hit. It's all about reacting to the RNG. The guard RNG, or enemy RNG in general, they basically have one of either like 4 or 2 things, kind of depending on the enemy, that they can do, and you have to be prepared for all of them at all times. And sometimes, like in the hallway, 3 enemies at once. So
one thing I didn't realize until I started like playing a lot of NMG the past 2-3 months was that the guards, like I think the weaker green guards and the mini Stalfos, they will look in the direction they're going to move next, and I did not know that very recently. Yeah. You know, I've been playing this game for almost 30 years, and I'm still learning things.
Yeah, it's just one of those small things that really separates, you know, the fastest from even the fast, right? There's just so many small things to pay attention to.
That is another heavy RNG room. The key rat, you see, going top left, kind of is a lot slower than what JP got. JP got bottom left, so JP did manage to gain about a half a second there.
Yeah, and taking a hit there. That's a hard one to react to. Yeah, this room kind of is not fun. And I do know that Rando rarely sees that room, or especially like leaving that room. So it's one of those you may not just, if you play a lot of Rando, you're probably just not used to the RNG that the rats can give.
Yeah. Nice 558 for Green Linen Shirt and 601 for JP.
Yeah, so pretty close here, just a couple of seconds apart.
They both split it.
Both gold. That's good stuff. And I mentioned Sankheart, we're going to grab that right here. It is both an extra heart container and a heart refill, which makes it really nice.
JP just accidentally said, repeat that again to the priest.
Oh no.
That's,
right.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. When you're constantly pressing down, that might happen sometimes.
Yeah, so the way you can get around that is if you hold down before the last text box comes up, it won't accept the down input. So you can be holding down preemptively like that. Although that's just one of those things that's like, if you don't run a lot of NMG, why would you know that? Taking a hit here. Honestly, that Octorok screen is a big reason why Sankard is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have... I mean, you can find 2 convenient hearts on the way to the trick where you lose a lot of hearts in Eastern Palace. T-skip. I don't know if that has a name or anything. I just know that, you know, it's very, very popular, very common trick.
Yeah, I would be surprised if any runner in this tournament did not go for it. It's a little bit scary at first because we're going to intentionally take 1.5 to 2 hearts of damage. But the alternative is about 20 seconds of clearing out the room. And actually, defeating all the enemies is more difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah, about different tricks along the way in this race if you're new to the speed run, but it's definitely, when it comes to tricks to the minor glitches or the no that make up no major glitches, that is the easiest minor glitch in the game, I would say.
Yeah, I wouldn't even really call it a glitch, but
I don't know what it is. It's just cool.
Yeah, you're just using your iframes to kind of walk through the enemies, and then on the first frame that you're eligible to press the button, you do. So I'm not sure I would really call it a glitch myself, but
to what the Stalfos room with the bots.
Yeah, it was nicely done. We're gonna see here on Brewers fan side.
All right, well, they still only spawn 2, so that's not bad. Too often I'll do that room and all of a sudden the third one spawns in the middle. I'm like, oh, well, I screwed this one up.
And that is a very difficult room to do. You're trying to, like, change directions a bunch. So sometimes you throw the pot the wrong way, which just means you have to clean it up with either another pot or a slash there. A couple of slashes, rather, but...
Looks like JP is just about 1 room behind at this point. Maybe 2, technically.
Yeah, pretty close. Time losses in this game tend to be either frames or minutes. So, okay, took an extra hit that we didn't want there on Greenlineshirt side, but knows to back up, walk into the Endy Fairies from directly above, and then walk into them again.
Yeah, now this is a little scary because you're on 1 heart and you're going to enter a room that could get you in the with the Igors.
Yeah, nicely done on Brewers fan side. Being on 1.5, like you mentioned, definitely way nicer than being on 1. There are a couple of rooms that can kill you because a couple enemies will do 1 heart of damage here. We really don't want to see that, but it's happened to everybody, I'm pretty sure.
Even these Stalfos heads can get you because they do 1 heart of damage to you.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they do. I mean, the ones in the Dark World are even harder. There! That was what I was warning about. That Igor can get you at any moment. Now, JP's also on 1 heart. He's going to go for the speed strat, though, and gets it.
Yeah, so you have to be a little bit careful there. The left Igor, if you go too far left, or maybe up as well, you will aggro it, which is what happened there. You saw Bruce Fan didn't aggro it because he was further right, so it didn't cause him any issues.
Yeah, JP did happen to get a heart in that room with the arrows, so now he's on 2 hearts, which is very comfortable, because, again, Igor's doing 1 heart damage.
Okay. Cleaning up the room there. Poke the door a little bit, which means it's going to take longer for the sword to charge, and if you're not aware of that, you're going to drop the spin, so you do have to just slash them. Not too big of a deal, but just annoying.
Yeah. We're going to see the quick Armos kill here from GP.
Looks like 1 extra Armos, or 1 extra arrow. I'm not sure he'll be able to. Yeah, gonna make a couple extra.
Yeah, he spent 1 extra arrow into the. So what you want to do? You want to shoot 2 arrows into the last one before you shoot all the others, so you can skip the red phase.
Yeah. So all it really cost him was a couple of seconds and a few arrows. Arrow count's looking pretty good overall, so not going to be a huge concern here. But it's just like. This is a pretty long speed run, actually. You really need to not let the small things get to you.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of those small things that I have reset over because I wasn't happy.
Alright, well, you're talking about the boots earlier, and we're at the 12-minute mark, and now we're going to get them. The game's going to go a lot faster.
Looks like we're seeing a pretty good Armos fight here. Yep, gets it. One extra arrow for the wall. We don't need that arrow. It's fine.
Yeah. There's plenty of arrows in Desert Palace. We're going to pick up, like, what, 20 in there?
Yeah, we'll pick up 20.
And then use them all on Landmo?
Hopefully not all of them, but maybe all of them.
You never know. I use more than I want to every time, so.
Yeah. Lamola's is a boss fight. Theoretically, you can get it done in as few as, like, 11 arrows and still get a 2-cycle.
Yeah.
Realistic scenario is using 16 to 25, just depending on kind of what hops they give you, as well as anywhere from 3 to 8 cycles, depending on what hops they give you.
Yeah. And a fun fact with my best Landmo fight, where now it was in a randomizer, but it was still with the bow and arrow. Like I had to beat it with like NMG strat. I had fighter sword, I had bow. It's like random players. Oh, we usually just like fire out of silver arrows, go to town, but no. And it was in a random. I got a 3-cycle, my only 3-cycle. Nice. I'm like, why can't I do this on an NMG run where I can get 5-cycle, 6-cycle? Anyway, Book of Door pick up for JP. So a nice stair, spin speed, and second try for the way back.
Yeah, spin speed being frame perfect means nobody's 100%.
Yeah.
We do try to get pretty close, but I don't know. It's just a trick that's because it's frame perfect. Some days you have it, some days you don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some times where I miss it 6 straight times, and sometimes I get it first try every time in a run.
Yeah, so generally speaking, missing it's not that big of a deal, but there will be a couple of instances where missing it is really punishing, namely Death Mountain, which we'll see coming up in the next split. But yeah, kind of this overworld movement for Desert Palace. Once again, nothing too technical or anything. Lots of long straight lines. Just trying to dash nicely around things. Not bonk, all that good stuff.
Yeah, there was no bonks, so very clean for JP to get the Desert Palace here.
And yeah, going into desert here, like you mentioned, we're going to get 20 rupees, 20 arrows, and we might get 20 rupees too, but we don't need them. Oh, actually, that bottom pot has 5 of our arrows. So
yeah.
There are also arrows in front of the Lamola's boss, which I think are kind of awful to grab, but they are an option, especially if you're not feeling too comfortable with.
I grab them if I have like 20 arrows.
Yeah, if
you
get
to 25, but if I have already 20, if I have over 20, I usually don't bother.
Yeah, makes sense. They kind of change the way you do the room from what you would typically do. So
I'm more likely to grab the hearts than the arrows.
Yeah, the hearts make sense.
They're like on your hearts more often than not.
And yeah, you saw Brewers Fan get hit by the BMOS there. Desert's not exactly the most dangerous dungeon, but you will occasionally take hits you don't mean to, like those cannonballs as well.
No, cannonball RNG is ridiculously stupid.
So the hearts make a lot of sense a lot of the time, just to have that little bit of extra safety.
Yeah, I mean, grab those arrows at least. That one's very on the way, just like the other ones were. And there's 2 more arrow pots here. Let's see if we pick them up. Yeah, he'll get them.
Grabbed one of them.
Hopefully he remembers to grab the other one on the way back.
Yeah, they are definitely. Basically, it's in this top left pot here.
No, he didn't. All right.
Okay, well, at 18 arrows, even with the pre-Lamno arrows, it brings us to 23. There's also arrows in that pot below the lever.
Yeah, there are.
Don't ever grab those, but they're there if you desperately need them, I guess.
They're there if you had a really bad Armos fight.
But yeah, the arrow count will... Of course, we need arrows for this boss, but we also need a lot more arrows through the rest of the run as well, so kind of getting down early in the arrow count can be hard to recover from sometimes.
Yeah. And a nice subtle pickup of 5 rupees there on greenlinenshirt's side, only because I noticed he was at 108. You need 110 to enter Palace of Darkness, so now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, depending on your strat and circle of pots, though, you should get 6 rupees. So really the minimum count's 114, but having a little bit of extra never hurts, especially in a tournament race where you get the bad RNG going to Palace of Darkness and have to pay the initial 10 again. So
yeah. Here comes the infamous Lanmola fight. Only 3 hearts and 18 arrows for JP, so he's going to have to be very accurate here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so taking an early hit there. Still pretty healthy, but... Okay. They can kind of jump in any random pattern, so standing right next to the mounds is a little scary sometimes.
Yeah, especially because those rocks just hit you and they do half a heart, which it does add up in a long fight like this.
Yeah, we see Greenlineshirt get hit by the BMOS a bit there. We're seeing a lot of fat slashes out of BrewersFan here. Probably trying to preserve that arrow count a little bit.
Alright, well there you go. Wasn't that bad.
Yeah, nice thing about the slashes is they kind of make it easier to track the land molas a little bit. They can kind of like protect you as well. But yeah, 7 arrow counts leaving here is not what you want, but it's enough.
Yeah, there's a lot you can pick up in Palace of Darkness.
Oh, pretty good first cycle there.
That was a good first cycle. Yeah, we might be on track for a 3 cycle here.
Ooh, just fired a little bit too early on that arrow. So managing your arrows that are in the air in this fight, that's unfortunate.
I say potential 3 cycle, then a double short hop, normal land mola.
Normal land ball stuff, exactly. And now we have
there you go, nice 4 cycle.
Yeah, once they kind of get a little bit... I actually think it's harder when they're synced up, because you can't keep track of them.
Alright, we'll see a little... You could talk about it.
Fake flipper action. Get 1 pixel away from the edge, walk in, or jump into the water, and transition through. Easy every time. There is a setup for it, which we're probably going to see both of them do. Walk to the bush, hold diagonal. Yeah, it saves like 6 seconds. At the risk of soft-locking your game. And yeah, Fox in chat bringing up brand new tech found just today, which is that when Lanmolas dies, you can actually menu, and it doesn't cost you any time. And right now, we think switching to the boomerang is actually probably a little bit optimal because you can boom the pickles and the dead rocks that are in your way.
So you can menu and the pendant will drop at the same rate no matter what, basically?
Yeah, there's a little bit more going on than that, I think, but I don't know enough about it. So,
alright, free world record, anybody?
Oh, saves to the tune of like 15 frames or something right now. We will probably see a lot more use in glitch categories where you have the equipment that you want leaving desert. Really, we want a menu next to the mirror would be our ideal next menu, but we just now got on BrewersFan side. We didn't have it in the Lanmolas fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually like to menu right there. When I like to menu there because then I can transition to the mirror and then press right away and not have to worry about like going too far up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the reason why we want to be careful of that is, A, getting into the warp portals is surprisingly difficult, and B, we really do want to enter them on specific pixels because it will save us a little bit of time whenever we warp between the light world and the dark world.
Yeah, see, I did not know that until recently, so that's something I gotta learn.
Yeah, there's like 25 or so warps, 24? I'm not sure exactly how many there are in the run. Each one saves right around half a second, so knowing them all is 12 seconds if done optimally, which is like 12 seconds, a good amount of time, but like I said, time saved in this game comes either in frames or in minutes. And a lot of the time we're looking for those minute time saves.
And JP with a strat that I like to do also, you grab the bombs from back to the hospital hut, which you don't really see the top runners do, but you see it a lot in the 130 range. You have extra bombs, so might as well just use one to make sure you don't have to worry about the tiles.
Yeah, I mean, it's like technically slower, but it's super consistent and super safe, so it's a good try, right?
Yeah, the tournament race is safe usually wins out.
I think that's pretty much been the case in like every tournament race so far.
Yeah, we're gonna see GLS. He's going to do a little boomerang strat here, which again you might get hit a couple times, and getting hit in Hera, trust me from experience, it stinks.
Yeah, I think with holding the sword out and throwing the boomerang, unlikely to take a hit here. And the boomerang will make the next room also less likely to take a hit.
Boomerang northeast, hit the switch, and then make your way down.
And Brewers fan just ran
by arrows. Yeah, I saw that. I gotta have a talk with him. When you see arrows, pick them up. They're useful.
Like I mentioned, 7 arrows, not quite where we want to be. It's definitely enough to get through the run at this point, but more is good. More is safe. Oh,
he dashed a little too soon on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 2. If you saw my race Friday night, which I know you calmed, I did that twice, so I know all about that.
Yeah, falling through either of the middle holes, the one at that bomb jump there, or the one we'll see at Moldorm, costs almost 50 seconds. Bomb jumps? Oh, that's really unfortunate. Bomb jumps are a 2-pixel window, unless you do the bonk strat, which Brewers fan did, in which case it widens to a 6-pixel window. But you need to be in the air when the bomb explodes, which you saw Green Linen Shirt do a little bit of timing there to make sure he was in fact in the air when the bomb exploded. So, yeah, probably just a little bit too far away.
Yeah, I think what JP did, he be careful. That's not 2 hits from the petting zoo, and he's going to do a safe strat here with the Wind Pro now. The way the game intended it.
Yeah. You don't see this too often, but step on the switch there, fall down the hole here. This is the dev intended way to get the Moon Pearl. The bomb jump saves, I think, around 15 seconds, so that's why you'll see most players go for it.
Yeah, and I don't think he's activated the orange switch, so he's going to have to grab. He's going to have to be a little careful on Moldorm, which GLS took care of no problems on his side. Moldorm is down, and he's going to be getting out of Death Bounding here.
And honestly, getting out of Hera with no major disasters is all you're looking for.
Yeah, this is a run killer and a half here, and see, JP's not on a half a heart, so he can't take any more damage. He's in Oko mode against his Moldorm.
And you have to be careful on these north-south whenever Moldorms don't dash through this. I always get scared when people line up, like, set up a dash. But he is doing a good job here baiting Moldorm and then kind of chasing the tail afterwards. Whew, good job there.
He got a lucky last pattern for the 6th hit, which helps a lot.
Yeah, and handled it well too, right? Was prepared to go in and deal with it, so.
Alright, so we're going to see what I believe is one of the hardest, easy rooms here, which is the Lost Woods to get to Master Sword.
Yeah,
it's easy to pull off anyway, but it's impossible to pull off perfectly.
Yeah, one of those sneaky hard rooms to do fast, which we have a lot of those, but also not one you give a lot of consideration to a lot of the time because you just dash, right? How hard can it be? But stopping your dash precisely, starting another dash quickly after that is definitely not easy to do all the time. And yeah, we're not seeing a mushroom pickup on the way in. The reason for that is because, well, it'll respawn for whatever reason. So sometimes your brain tricks you and think, oh, I didn't pick it up because you see it again. And then you pick it up twice, which is just like a couple of seconds time loss for no real reason.
Yeah, I remember the first time I started doing this, I was like, all right, let's put the mushroom now. And then, and then it's there again on the way back. I have to dodge it. So you're not really saving time.
Oh, okay. Well, they're not going for pure rupees anyway, but bush guards are... I don't know why they're in the game, man.
It's annoying. More of the dumb RNG that this game throws at you for no reason. But yeah, both our runners had this Sahashala 100 rupees, so we're not going to see a tree pulse.
Seeing a bit of an alternate way through this screen here on greenlinenshirt's side.
Yeah.
But as we've mentioned, consistency and safety are kind of the number one priority for a lot of players. So if it works for you, no real reason to change it, unless you are trying to eke out those last few frames.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to see Agga Tower now, which is another sneaky hard dungeon. One that you probably don't have risk of dying, it's just that it's really hard to pull off at a consistently perfect manner.
Even then, you get a couple of bad RNGs, and then you mess up like the top of the tower a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, your health gets real low, so... Yeah, and that strat that he tried to pull off right there is a little bit tight. So just barely missed the timing window for it, and did have to resort to 8-slash instead of a double spin, which is both more difficult and slower. So
yeah, I like to if you want to play it safe, you could just hold a double wait to bring the guards down to you, and then double spin down there. It loses like what 2-3 seconds, but you're almost guaranteed to get it every time.
About 2 seconds. This is what you're seeing here on Brewers Fan's side.
Yeah.
Doesn't use arrows, which is pretty nice. So if you're desperately short on arrows or anything like that, it can be a good backup as well. Oh, that's not what you want.
Nope, not at all. You wanted to store a spin coming into this room.
Yeah, probably. We're getting crazy guard aggro on greenlinenshirt's side.
Yeah, I don't know what that routing was. It went left up and...
You'll see that routing a lot if somebody needs the 5 rupees under that pot.
Okay.
If it's just something you're more familiar with, it's okay to do as well. But either way, no matter how you approach that room, you have to be aware of a lot of guards and see what they're doing. This room in particular, okay, didn't take any damage. If that room gets out of hand, it's pretty easy to take.
There's that red guard I was telling you about, but very nicely handled by GLS.
Through there. Charging a spin. It's not a strat I've seen used too much, but mostly the downside to it there is that top left guard will see you, like what happened there, and probably get hit. And yeah, this is something that I expect a lot more out of rando runners, which is that they don't have to do Agga Tower very often. So
yeah,
the strats, like missing the
Harrow there again.
Yeah, is like they're generally aware of what they need to do for the most part, but they don't quite have developed strats for a lot of the rooms. Especially since in Agga Tower and Randomizer, you typically have like wildly different equipment than we have here. So
yeah, we might have Fire Rod at some point. We might have Tempered Sword. I make things pretty free.
Or a lot of times you might have nothing.
Yeah, we could just have Fire Sword and Magic Cape, and that's it. And we're just like, help! What am I doing? Both extremes have happened.
Now we're on to the Aghanim fight, which, what can you say that hasn't been said before? RNG, lots of it. It's uncontrollable, very fun. Yeah, just give us 0, please. Even though we already saw a couple of blue balls.
At least 3 now, I think, on JLS's side.
Yeah, and the third one definitely hurts a bit more.
And the fourth one hurts more than that. I think JP's currently at 1 on his end.
So yeah, this is kind of... You gotta have strong mental fortitude if you're running this game, because this guy just takes runs away from you. So... Hopefully, I mean, both of them were on pretty solid well, we've seen a couple of golds here. We're not too far behind the splits. but getting a bunch of blue balls definitely hurts, both from a race perspective and from, if you've got an outside shot at PBing still and you get 7 or 8 blue balls, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. Or what happened to me my first race of the tournament where, I had a terrible hair up, I got 0 blue balls.
Yeah.
The game giveth and the game taketh away.
That's the classic Bwayne blue ball manip, though.
Fall 3 times on Moldorm and then get 0 blue balls. You might actually save time that way. Wait a minute. New strategies. Anyway, I think JP definitely had less blue balls. I just don't know what the exact numbers were. So he caught up a little bit. He was entering the pyramid cutscene just as GLS was ending it.
Okay.
That was some Matrix stuff right there.
I didn't take damage. We're fine. One thing you can do on that screen is if you stay as high as possible against the wall, none of the enemies will hit you. Might be something to look at going forward. Taking a little bit of a safer path here to avoid the bird, which is reasonable. The bird hurts.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys in the NMG community call it pterodactyls like we do, but that's what we call them now.
We like murderdactyl occasionally.
Murderdactyl, that's
yeah,
what I
that's
heard.
a good one. Yeah. Seeing lots of dashes there to try to be a little bit safer on GLS's side. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, one hit, and then you have to... Kiki runs away, you have to lose another 10 rupees, and then at that point, the rupee count's so low, you might just have to go farm with the boomerang at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say you could get backup Saha rupees, but no, we already got those.
Yes, we got that.
Oh, yeah, and you can see there, like I mentioned, with Eastern Palace, big key trick there. He got hit by the fireball. He couldn't press the switch because he had iframes. So, but yeah, this is not too difficult of a dungeon to necessarily complete. We do have a couple of tough tricks that we have to worry about. And here we're seeing, if you have watched recent speedruns of this game, we don't really do this route because doing it probably the way the Brewers fan is going to do it, I'm not sure exactly, get you a couple more bombs. But if you take Saha bombs, it doesn't matter too much. So
I'm in the camp of always grab extra bombs because you're going to do the Ice Palace bomb jump 5 times anyway. Hammering up 5 times anyway.
Yeah. But in terms of time, they're basically the same. I think it's like a 30 frame difference between the two. So if you like the way that GreenlinShirt's doing it and you have spare bombs, go for it.
Yeah, the one upside is he's going to be able to just dash straight up in this next room instead of having to open the chest for the key.
Which is pretty nice because otherwise you're either doing 2 dashes in the room or doing a quick hop, both of which are quite a bit slower.
I don't know which setup GLS is doing here. I know I usually look at the wall for the right pixel.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of buffers here. Believe it or not, this is probably still okay. We're going to see some select buffers here. Some people are more comfortable with that. I am concerned that we don't have enough time for this bomb to explode, though. But you can do a lot of buffers and still save time with this trick. Ooh.
Yeah, he did run out of time. JP got it first try with a little slower than the fastest way to do it because he didn't go up to throw the bomb, but it's definitely a lot safer to just get over it first, then place the bomb, which is what JP did.
And this is a very difficult trick. You have to stand on a precise pixel, and then you have to stand on another precise pixel. So you can see GLS is trying to get a lot of 1 or 2 pixel movements here, which is not trivial to do.
Yeah. I can tell you the random community did not do any of this until Key Sanity was a mode. This wasn't even a thought at first, and then when Key Sanity became a thing, it became almost essential to save a key in Piles of Darkness.
Yeah, this is you can see how challenging it can be sometimes. when you do it well, obviously it feels really good, but sometimes it's just incredibly difficult to get those 1 pixel movements. And now we're going to pick up some arrows.
This was planned all along. You just waste an extra 2 seconds in this room, and you know, I think you might have bounced out. Who knows? The head drop is nice, that's for sure. And going into this room with sword beams also nice stage menu.
Yeah, that's a big reason why we want to stay healthy in this dungeon as well. We do have 3 hearts to pick up here that you're going to see, but it's pretty easy to take more than 3 hearts of damage in this dungeon, so...
Yeah, especially with the bomb jump, guaranteeing you taking at least 1 hit. Let's see if we got fast turtles here.
Well
Good
behaved.
start. Very
Nicely
nice.
done. Yeah, those turtles just sometimes it's out of your control if they behave or not. The way they operate doesn't make any sense. So here we're going to see Homosaur King, which is one of probably the 3 or 4 most dangerous bosses in the game.
Well, I haven't seen JP do the new strat, which make this boss a lot safer.
Oh yeah, so we're not going to see spin speed, which okay, be careful here. When you get pinned against the wall, don't press up.
Yeah, he took 2 hits, but he was able to hack away with the sword. So he didn't do the spin speed strat, but he got it done. And got out alive, which is all you can ask for.
And GLS was pixels away from taking a hit from turtles that didn't behave, so... Oh, well, that's good. We saw BrewersFan take a couple hits. They do 2 hearts, so being on 7 hearts here is really nice for this fight. It gives you an extra hit that you can accidentally take, which we already took 1, so hopefully no more. No fireballs, Helma, please.
Well, saw spin speed. This could be hit 17 come up. No, we missed. Oh, there's hit 17. And okay, now we just picked. This is not good. And you have to put the sword back in, and down to 1 heart. But avoiding fireball.
I think 1 spin. Okay, good. Oof. Yeah, so reiterating, when Helma's down against the wall, don't press up. No matter what you want to do, don't press up. All right, we are through the first, well, I guess the second really kind of disastrous potential that we're going to have. First being Hera, which we had 1 disaster there, so no disasters in Pod is good enough.
You say that, but GLS did die to Armos, so...
Yeah, this game is tough. Okay, we didn't get hit.
That was insane. That was...
Okay, well, okay, one reason we dash high on that screen is so that robot doesn't hit us, and then also so that moblin doesn't hit us. BrewersFan just avoided there. Also, this right here could be a bit dangerous. Okay, he's beating the enemies up there. That'll work.
Yep, not the end of the world. We're gonna go visit. Get our shovel, to get our flute.
And yeah, coming up here after we grab the flute, this is actually a screen where hitting spin speed is going to be pretty important because it will let us outrun one of the guards, which is not normally possible otherwise. And the red spear guard hurts. Two digs. I don't think Randomizer has found a way to randomize the dig location yet. So
please don't. I don't know if we have people asking to randomize the TR pegs. Now you're bringing that up.
Oh no! Here we're getting the spin speed, and you can see he jukes that red guard easy every time.
That's very satisfying to not get hit there. As someone who gets hit a lot there.
But yeah, it's actually you know, if you're trying to do these rooms fast, it's pretty easy to get 2 digs. Like you see right there, just a little bit too far left.
Yep.
Oh, and we are seeing a item dash and using the flute on the same frame there. That will actually let you flute out a little bit sooner. So important to item dash if you plan on fluting there.
And that was a nice little spin speed to save a little bit of time in that screen. To pick up powder. And also another red guard dodge on GLS's side.
And getting
yeah. So we're gonna have a slight divergence here.
And then I can't remember. I know it's a thing for a lot of runners who are getting powder to do a lot of their item collection in this split. I can't remember. I know I commentated a match for GLS a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember if he did his collection in this split or not.
I know in my match with Satan Spawn, I know she went and did all her shopping at this point also. She got Ether and Ice Rod here as well. I don't think he's doing that though. Well, we'll see. You know, JP looks like he's just gonna, you know, get his powder and go straight to Thieves Town.
Yeah, Thieves Town is generally a straightforward split. This is actually one of the few dungeons that, for Randomizer players, is probably easier because you get here a lot with almost no equipment.
As a Randomizer player, I like to be in here with the same amount of hearts I do in NMG, which is 8. If I'm in here with less, I get a little scary.
The one nice thing about the dungeon is this is generally pretty just like straight line paths. Take a nice dash, it hopefully goes well, and you're out. We're going to see a couple rooms where that's not going to necessarily be the case, but it's what we hope for. Okay, and we're not going to see the get everything in one split strat here. Which is also fine because sometimes it's not fun to have a 12-minute split. But yeah, a lot of Thieves Town here. We're going to be trying to react to these kind of weird enemies. Hopefully that looks like a good pixel. Oh, one far to the left.
Yeah, a little too far to the left, but you know, second try is still pretty solid for Hellway.
Yeah, getting through there without taking too much damage and without just getting stuck in there for an extra 10 seconds is, you know, fine. So here we have to blow up this roof so that light filters into a room below so we can beat the boss in a little bit.
And those green lizards don't look intimidating. They deal 2 hearts of damage, and you do not want to hit those things.
Ooh, getting bunny beamed.
If you're a little slow in that room, you'll get caught. If you don't, I guess you have a little bit of leeway, but it's not a lot. You have to be pretty fast.
If you find yourself consistently getting bunny beamed there, you can hold down right through the whole room and you'll always beat it. But obviously dashing is going to be a little bit faster. And most people don't find themselves consistently getting bunny beamed. So,
also, we were talking about the arrows earlier. It looks like they've changed a little bit. Now GLS is down to 2, meanwhile JP has 21.
Yeah, picking up a bunch of extra in pod will do that. We're not going to see too many more opportunities for arrows. Oh, nicely done.
Yep, that was a god pixel.
But the next kind of major threshold we're looking for in terms of arrows is actually 21 arrows leaving Swamp Palace. If you do the no gold silvers route.
Yeah.
So, but opting to skip the arrows in that pot, which is also...
yeah, I think we talked about that last time.
Those are like the fastest arrows in the game, so...
Those free 5-drop the entire game. You almost always pick those up, so yeah. Again, I got a nice little talk with JP about these arrows.
And here we're seeing the blind fight, which is not half as scary as it looks. unless you accidentally take a hit early, in which case then it
It'll be on script though, so that's fine.
could be. But if you mess it up, it is exactly as scary as it looks. So nicely finished off there.
Yeah, he did take one hit, but I think other than that, it went according to plan for JP.
We did see JP powder that one skull for a fairy. Okay, we are going to see that here on GLS's side as well. Even though he's full health, he wants to catch this one just in case disaster strikes. That one's a little bit safer to get than any of the ones in Skull Woods. So nice to bottle that one up. And this will just give Greenlineshirt a comfortable position in case anything bad does happen, particularly on boss fights. Yep. Moth, Ganon, Vitreous. Pretty much all of them.
Right off all the bosses that are left. I think Argus is the only one. Oh, even Argus can give you trouble.
Yeah, if you get pinned against the wall or something, definitely possible.
You don't get if you're a little slow and you get pinned on the bottom right. He deals too much damage.
Actually, taking a hit from that bomb, which he did to pick up 300 rupees here, is not really ideal. Obviously, you don't want to lose health, but in Skull Woods, a lot of things do 2 hearts of damage. This puts you on 8, so now you can take 1 fewer hit in the dungeon, which is not what you want. That looks like that third hit on Greenlineshirt's side was like 1 frame too early, because that could have hit. I don't see why it didn't. I mentioned doing a lot of collection earlier. The collection we're doing here to get the sword upgrade, unfortunately, has to wait until after Thieves Town. It takes the sword from being the Master Sword, which is 2 or more hits on a lot of enemies, to the Tempered Sword, which is 1 on most enemies. And conveniently, that lets us dash through a lot of enemies, simplifies a lot of screens because of that. So it just keeps us approaching rooms a bit more consistently and safely.
I like to mention that usually when you beat Thieves Town, that's about the halfway point of this of the run. Because you're getting 45 to 47 minutes in. Like these runners did at 48, which is basically in line to what they're on pace for at this moment, I would say.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are a little bit behind their PBs here. Obviously, still have time to save. We've actually seen a lot of golds from both of them.
Yeah.
So they're
you
used
also
to
tell by the run counter, not exactly don't run as much as some other runners. Like you see with the run counter, I think I see 30 on JP and 22 on GLS. So GLS might have different splits for this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Very possible.
You get the bottle and maybe gold and silver. Just I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I'm not sure I've seen anybody other than Kelsey get gold and silvers, but
I think Things one did also against me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So a couple of people, but most runners, especially if they've done rando, are good enough to do the Tempered Ganon fight, even if it's not always great or anything. But they're comfortable enough doing it that they feel that the time lost from getting gold and silvers is not really worth it.
You consistently get the Ganon fight at about 2 hours. Like if you can save, what is it, like a minute, maybe a little more.
It saves about 80 seconds, I think. 70 seconds actually.
Silver's fight is a minute 40. You basically, if you can get a sub 3 Ganon with Tempered and Silverless, it's worth it to just stick with Tempered and Silverless.
Yeah, about sub 3, 2.5 minutes. If that's where you're relatively consistently at with Ganon, it's probably not worth it to get gold and silvers. But as we've seen in the tournament, they do make it easy.
If it's a consistency issue, then definitely if you want to go out of your way to get the gold and silvers. Also, it helps with, like, it makes Trinex a little faster, having the butter sword versus the tempered sword.
Also a little bit safer. You have to use a little bit less magic when that happens. Ooh, that bonk is okay. Very dangerous because that gives you a big jump and will land right on top of you sometimes.
Or stinking RNG with the fire bar. I wouldn't be surprised if he powers the bunny bean coming up.
Yeah, it can be a little bit dangerous because there are a lot of things happening in that room, but the health situation is not looking too great here, so yeah, we're going to at least see an attempt at it.
Very good RNG to get that done.
Unfortunately, beams make killing this mummy impossible.
Especially when you don't get him into the spike. Like with the full magic, I don't mind just keeping the fire rod handy and just taking him out of one shot. It might be a little slower overall, but if things go wrong, it might be faster.
Yeah.
Watch the fight.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that you don't want to hit him into the spikes like JP's doing, because they'll just cancel the hit. But gets it done pretty quickly.
Ooh. Oh.
The mini Moldarm getting over there, preventing the bombs up. You see the bonk strats make it a lot safer to bomb over to get the fire rod.
And you know, hovering that pit is a lot faster than bomb jumping.
Oh, he went to hover the first time. I didn't see that.
Yeah, but the mini Moldarm there is the reason why we don't. Because they just block you.
Also, neither are mirrored out of there. I think mirror might be slightly faster.
Or it's like about the same time in the room, but then there'll be an extra menu later. And more importantly, in the leaving, you can, if you fall through the hole, you'll still have iframes, so you can just walk through the rope as it jumps to you.
Gotcha.
Which saves like half a second, so.
JP gonna do, let's see what shocking he does here. Oh, we know for sure most of the runners will just get the Quake into flippers here.
Yeah.
Risk down for Ether at this point because you don't want to get hit. You want sword beams for the first Room and Ice Palace.
And you really don't want to enter Ice Palace low on health. Like, even if you didn't want to have sword beams, we've got Cold Stare at the end of the dungeon, so.
Too often I've been going up one room to Powder Anti Fairy to make sure I'm full health for Cold Stare.
Which sometimes you may not have the magic for if you get a little bit unlucky in the dungeon. So
then you can do the if you're full health, then you could save some magic by using the sword beam strat on bring Cold Stare down. A little slower, but you save magic.
Yeah, that is a bit slower. Okay, this fight is
It's over.
We do still have the fairy, so we're gonna be okay.
I forgot about that.
But Moth really likes to hug the spikes sometimes and doesn't take damage.
Hit away.
Like, how many times did your miniature hit him? Like 6, 8 times?
Yeah, those spikes are.
Touch the crystal.
Does he not realize?
Might have just
like that.
A breather for a second there and turned away for a second.
Another impossible room to get perfectly.
Oh, I missed man taking a hit.
Yeah, I think he did. So he lost 2 hearts going to get the Quake. I think he might have got hit by the Popo. Or whatever that is, that deals 2 hearts of damage.
Yeah, that's the most common culprit. We do have an opportunity to farm some hearts, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's that farming a heart means losing a heart. So sometimes it's a little bit scary to try to go for a bit of extra healing before the dungeon here. So that was why we collected the 600 rupees in the previous section, was to pick up the flippers there, which were 500 rupees, and now we don't need any more money for the rest of the game, which is convenient. Brewers fan showing off why swimming is impossible.
Oh, yeah. We're entering what is now I consider the now that spin speed helm is the thing. I think this is the most common run during runs now, which is Ice Palace.
This palace is just brutal. It has a bunch of like really technical rooms with having to deal with ice physics, as well as some just very challenging rooms to do fast, like the Ice Palace bomb jump and the double Stalfos bomb kill, and the conveyor room even is not trivial to do. And then capped off with the most dangerous boss in this video game.
Yeah, because Cold Stare, you can take him out pretty quickly if you know what you're doing, but it's even worse than Blind, where you can, if you lose it, it just goes downhill super fast.
Yeah, and with the Blind fight in Thieves Town, you can lose it, but not lose too much time, because Blind's still like right there. You still have a couple of opportunities to hit him easily. When the Cold Stare fight goes wrong, Cold Stare is everywhere.
Yeah. And he does, what, 4 hearts of damage?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
the ice
4.
drops does 1 or 2. I'm not sure. It does a lot.
Ice does 2 and Cold Stare does 4.
There's a reason the blue mail is the dungeon item in this dungeon.
Alright, and we're picking up a bunch of extra bombs, a couple extra magic and hearts as well. Ooh, that's a convenient heart drop.
Yeah, and you got sword beams.
Yeah, if you slap them while they're electrifying, they won't take damage and you'll be hit. Sword beams kill them instantly, which is what we saw happen there.
Nice first try on the bomb jump, which I know when I first started playing Rando, this was the first trick I was told to learn, and now in Rando it's pretty much never seen anymore. Thanks to Icebreaker being legal for us. But yeah, we still do Ice Palace bomb jump sometimes.
Pengator room is one of those rooms that's actually impossible, and got all 5 of them with one spin. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from here to the end of the dungeon, really pretty easy. We're just going to fall down a couple of pits. As long as we don't Andy block this, we'll be okay. But yeah, Cold Stare coming up in just a couple screens here.
Full of health, so, you know, knock on wood. I think this is made of wood I have here. Things go fine.
Yeah, so here we're on 10 hearts, which means Cold Stare can only touch you twice before it's over. And yeah, okay, avoiding the ice there, that's been just in time. Okay. Okay, shouldn't be too much. One more slash, I think. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So you got enough hits on the top right, and even though it took damage from falling ice, it wasn't a huge deal. It was done pretty fast.
Yeah, only thing to worry about there is when Cold Stare kind of gets separated a bit like that, keeping them away from you is harder than it looks. Ooh.
Yeah, just barely missed getting the Stalfos up there. Pretty quick kill.
Yeah. With the magic situation, we'll safely be able to powder and still have enough magic for Cold Stare, so not a huge deal, taking a little bit of extra damage here, but if you're not coming up with this bomb jump, every time you fill it, it's going to cost you 2 hearts, so...
Oh, he's going to go for the hover instead.
Maybe opt to do that because they messed up a little bit on the first setup here. I'm not...
He's not far enough left at all.
No.
This seems to be a recurring theme in this race, I think, is that GLS just... his movement's fine, but he has a little trouble with the...
I don't have the bomb jump here either.
With the tricks, yeah. He's gonna try to hover for the last one because he can't bomb anymore. Was he hit by firebar? Yeah, he's gonna take a death here.
Yeah, the hover would have been safe there, but the firebar would have gotten him. So, it's just okay.
Now he might be out of magic. He has to find a magic drop here now.
Luckily, Pengators are in the magic prize pack, so they can keep the full magic. Muscle memory, don't need to kill this guy again. Hard to remember sometimes.
He might be looking for magic. You never know.
That too could be.
They drop small magic sometimes. The Penguinators do drop big magic occasionally.
Yeah, at this point, we're gonna need 2 magic drops at minimum. 2 small magics or 1 big magic. So, Seeing something from a Pangator here is definitely what we're looking for.
Yeah. Oh, does JP get Ice Rod here, or does he go...
Ooh.
He does, okay.
And the real difficulty of this game, whenever you need to change your strats, it's impossible.
Yeah, this is where I think the random player has a slight advantage, when you need to do things that are different than what you're usually doing.
Yeah, what we would... Maybe the safest way to approach it here is to not worry about these first set of Pangators at all. And if you do see them happen to drop a big magic, go ahead and pick it up, but like don't go out of your way for it. And just kind of trust that the 5 Pangators will give you something.
Yeah, but that's kind of risky
for a race, but they're okay. We see the big magic. All right, we're gonna be fine now.
Yeah. Well, JP's on his way to Swamp Palace here.
And I did see Ice Rod picked up. Did it get picked up as well? It did.
Yes, he went Ether Ice Rod, which is same thing I do in the split.
All right. This is I guess a little bit more recent. Oh, threw that skull just a bit too early again. Okay. 4 bomb drop. We're going to have plenty of bombs for Ice Palace bomb jump here. The advantage of getting all your pickups in this split is Swamp's not a dungeon you typically die in, so taking a little bit of extra damage from collection is fine.
Yeah. Plus, you want sword beams for fire.
It is actually kind of nice to have sword beams for this first room in Swamp.
Yep. I still don't think... Oh, he got it. Okay. I didn't think he was too far to the left again, but he did get it that time.
Yeah. And you saw him dash through all the enemies, so you might be saying to yourself, well, why would sword beams be good there? Sometimes you don't dash through all the enemies. And having sword beams to just kind of clean up the room is definitely convenient. But it is a little bit more valuable to have sword beams in Mire, which is why you see a lot of people opt for shopping here instead of Mire.
Yeah. And then most runners, I think, nowadays, they would get Ether here, but fire shots till after Mire.
Yeah.
That's just a personal preference, I think, for some.
Totally personal preference. However you feel about the menus is how you do it, so.
Yeah. I do know the runners that do get Ether in the same time as Powder. They like to use Ether in Skullwoods, which makes sense.
So we're going to see dropping down into this hole, which is going to give us to the fairy room, which there is 1 fairy room in every dungeon. And probably going to use 1 and catch 1. There are 3 here. Just in case Cold Stare happens, which luckily didn't on Brewers fan side. It was close, but he handled it skillfully. So hopefully we're going to see it handled skillfully on Green Linen Shirt side as well.
Cold Stare always happens, just to what extent does it happen? Is it a good Cold Stare? Is it a medium Cold Stare? Do you die?
I've seen a little bit more rando brain there. Left side Swamp is notorious in rando for being awful. Just missing the the initial spin setup right there, which helps push him to the corner. It also does a little bit of extra damage for us. Now it's going to be 8 slashes instead of 6 for just a couple slashes away, and we're fine. Okay.
All right, we're out of here. Also, with rando players in left side Swamp, give us Kansas to Mario, we're fine.
So, just the movement was a little bit awkward there. But awkward movement is going to lose you a second or 2, maybe a touch bit more in the worst of situations. So definitely not the most important thing to learn right away.
Yeah, the big key, and we're going to go get to the hook shot here.
And yes, it is very much possible to lose against Argus. It feels like a pretty easy fight, and usually it's pretty easy, unless you go for 0 cycle. But sometimes Argus gives you the worst patterns in the world, and if you're not really prepared for it, you get pushed into the corner and you can't get out and you die. So 90+% of the time we're fine, but there is that one in, however much, where Argus ruins it. Didn't get the hook speed there, but still managed to pick up the pot easily, so that's fine. Ooh, wasn't all the way against the wall, so as he was nudging into the door, the berry hit him there. Yes, Argus is a pretty technical boss fight to do quickly. Zero Cycle is maybe the single most challenging trick in the run, and then the Fire Rod double shots afterward are also pretty...
Yeah, the Fire Rod spin is something that I wouldn't say it's hard per se, but it's not always consistent.
Right?
It's not always consistent.
Yeah. Just due to the way Argus moves, when you Fire Rod, sometimes your Fire Rod shot will phase through Argus. It's not your fault. It's the game being the game.
So very nice. Very nice. He didn't get a Zero Cycle, but he didn't go for the Zero Cycle, but got a very fast Argus fight anyway.
You're going to see it. Okay.
And he gets it. All right. Really good Argus fight on JP's side.
Yeah, opted not to go for the Zero Cycle there, which is totally reasonable. Like I mentioned, one of the most difficult tricks to do in the game. If you don't do it, typically you'll see something like that where you kind of just get to hook and slash, and Argus won't be a problem. You do have to be on the lookout if Argus does a couple of fast motions, which can pin you against the wall if you're not prepared for it, but very nicely handled.
And now JP is talking to my twin sister, Hyrule Ramblette, because she talks a lot.
This is the longest cutscene in the game. We have like 9 minutes worth of text that we have to mash throughout this run.
This is like a minute by itself, I think. Or close to it.
Yeah, this is 55 seconds, so...
It's so long.
It's pretty rough. Maybe it's not quite 9 minutes, but it's a good amount of time. Either between cutscenes like this or things like the opening of Ganon's Tower. So, yeah, I mentioned 21 arrows was kind of the next threshold we wanted. We have just enough there. In a race, 21 is actually not what I'd be happy with, because this would be the minimum. You'd have 0, leaving Ice Armos, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, because then you would, like, well, he might pick up the 10 arrow before Ice Armos.
Sure. If you're comfortable getting that chest, those 10 arrows are very fast.
Like, if you're powdering Anti-Fairy anyway, it's not that much of a time loss.
Yeah. Although, given how many arrows we've skipped up to this point...
They weren't in chest, though. That's different. Arrows and chests are different.
Okay.
Randall players open a chest when they're looking for a big key.
That is true. I was nervous for a second that we were going to mirror on greenlinenshirt's side, but you mentioned to hammer down the pegs there. It's probably me just being worried because I'm never on mirroring that screen, so I would have hit Y.
Well, we got a very nice Mire 2 on JP's side. And
I believe the next opponent is Argus. Let me check. Oh yeah, we talked about this earlier. The winner of this will face Kelsey.
Yes.
And the loser will unfortunately be out of the tournament. So
yeah, this is the in Wayne's twisted mind, the 9-1 versus 8-8 matchup. I'm still not 100% sure what it means, but I think I got the gist of it.
I don't either, and I'm an admin, so...
Well, he put everyone that was in the bottom 2 in the Group 9 thing, and all the runners that were in the bottom of the second group were in the 8 group, and then they did average times. JP had the fastest time among all those in 9, and GLS had the slowest time among all those in 8, so they face each other. What goes on the top bracket, I have no. What goes on after that, I have no idea. But
Was a little bit nervous there on Brewers Fan. Almost, fire rotted a little bit early on one of them, which is a lot better than fire rotting late. Because fire rotting early means you can still push the block. Fire rotting late means you can't. So you have to do the intended way, which is a lot slower. Turns out pushing blocks is not very fast.
By the way, try playing this game on your regular English cartridge, and you'll find that room be a lot different.
Okay, so Brewers Fan opting not to go for the spark gamble there, but if you do that, you do need to kind of load the spark that he ran into on screen so that you're able to dash past it. And you do that by walking down a bit more early so that you can dash more later. Kind of strange, but once you get a feel for it, it makes a lot of sense. Taking a hit walking into this room kind of ruins it a little bit, so it took a little bit of extra damage. With the powder, will be fine. Please don't use it here or you will lose Spooky. Okay.
I don't think he's going for Spooky, so I don't think it matters too much.
Okay, yeah, then in that case, doesn't matter. Has enough magic to get through, but the full magic here is probably a good idea.
In case you might mess up, because remember, you're going to use Smarter twice. You're going to maybe want to powder again if you have a little trouble down here. I don't see having trouble down here, though. So you don't know. I was going to say that it takes a fireball to the face.
Because it's dark, and because you still have to react to things.
Yeah, of course.
Not easy to do so a lot of the time. Yeah, we are going to see greenlinenshirt pick up the arrows in Swamp. Normally you'll get either 5 or 10 in Swamp. He picked up 10 here. That gets him over that 21 threshold I was talking about. 22 is a little bit safer, but that leaves you with 1 extra arrow for Ice Armos. So still maybe not the most comfortable of situations.
Again, just open the chest before Ice Armors. Get the 30 before that, just to be safe. Especially because if you struggle with the mimics, you don't want to have to run out of arrows on that fight.
And you see a bit more aggressive Argus here on greenlinenshirt's side, and does smartly get out of the corner so that no disaster happens here. But it does mean that it's harder to deal with Argus. Opting to not use the fire rod here, which is totally fine, because it's surprisingly difficult to save 1 second.
Alright, so only got 1 lightning bolt from Vitreous, and we're going to be leaving the Fitty fight with 11 hearts. Oh, sorry, 11 arrows. 13 hearts.
Yeah, 11 arrows. We need 18 for Ice Armos. There's 5 to pick up in Turtle Rock. There's 5 on our way in GT, so you could certainly get those. And as you mentioned, there's the 10 arrow chest as well. So we're going to be okay on arrows as long as we remember, right? But arrow count's fine here.
I would lay decent odds that he forgets the pot arrows but remembers the chest arrows.
It's hard to forget the GT pot arrows, but the Turtle Rock ones are...
Yeah.
I say hard to forget. You literally can't. They're in your way. You can't not get them.
And you can also grab the 5 right before you enter the lava room, right?
That is correct, if you want those. I would probably get those.
Add that low arrow count just to get an extra 5.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, powdering the anti-fairy, getting the chest, makes perfect sense, so...
So we're going to see... Our runners are about a mile apart at this point.
Yeah, so a few minutes, 5 to 6, kind of just...
Yeah, Meyer's about a 6 to 6.5 minute done. I see on JP split at least that it took him just over 6 minutes.
That said, 6 minutes is a lot, but Turtle Rock is easily the most dangerous dungeon in this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, it's kind of a bit tougher, but you know.
Agga Tower is harder,
Yeah,
You won't
but
die as
less
fast.
dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no chain chomps in Ganon's Tower.
And if you haven't died to chain chomps 3 times in a row trying to get past that room, you probably haven't played this game.
Or Dead Rock's trying to get there, you know.
Is aware of the fairy, that's good, so the health loss is not as significant, but the time loss and the frustration
Yeah.
of Dead Rock. And yeah, non-randomized pegs, which is probably the way they should be.
Yeah, don't touch those.
Because you literally get a hint for it in game, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
Maybe it's just the audio cue. I don't know.
I
But
know it's an audio cue in the game. Like it's an audio cue every time I play it. But I don't know if there was hints in the vanilla game when I played it when I was a little 8-year-old.
But yeah, thank goodness. Basic movement being a puzzle, no thanks. Yeah, so Turtle Rock, as we mentioned, very dangerous. Death Mountain is not even, it's called Death Mountain. It lives up to its name. And it's not even like the third most lethal screen in this split.
Yeah.
So,
And he almost missed out on that fire rod. He was a little early on the first hit, but got through it. So this room is a little tough, but looks like he got it no problem.
okay.
Or, almost got it no problem.
Didn't take damage. That's solid.
And most importantly, didn't open a map chest.
True.
I was talking with Eerie. He says that's one chest he still opens sometimes.
Can't remember if he has the fairy here.
Who, GLS?
GLS does not. I can't remember if BrewersFan does.
Well, I mean, storing the fair. There's more arrows gone.
Yeah, ultimately, if they can get past... Oh, there it is. There's the fairy.
Yeah.
So, we'll have 13 health for chomps, so they have to hit us 4 times to kill us, which can happen. Especially if they... Okay.
Got out of there.
So yeah, always nice to be full on health for that, but as long as you get through, you can see the anti-fairy there that you can powder, and in a second we're going to come to a room with 4 anti-fairies. So definitely plenty of opportunity to get health back.
I don't know if GLS is... He's going to mirror... I guess he... Oh. Hookshot in there is dangerous, let me just tell you that. He doesn't want to lose Spooky, I can tell you that. So that's why he hasn't powdered that anti-fairy there.
Okay. No, please get the magic. If you're planning on...
Oh, because now he's probably not getting Spooky. Which does make sense now. I don't know why you wouldn't anti-fairy before that.
Well, we do have one in a bottle. Okay, we're not going to go for Spooky here. Didn't get to set up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're fine. Yeah, so just have to make it through Mire without dying, which we mentioned getting hit as something that happens. Usually get hit for a couple of hearts, very rarely 5, so
Yeah.
not too worried.
Plus, he's more than likely going to powder the anti-fairy right before Vitreous.
So that'll fill... Oh, okay.
Wow, that was a nice little snipe shot of the pokey.
When the little Pokeballs start flying around the room, you got to get a little bit nervous.
Oh yeah. But,
Yeah,
very solid for JP so far here in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so this also looks like normally you'd want to enter this room with the pegs down. Also, it is faster to beam the switch than to use the Canis Maria. So that could just be, muscle memory, maybe not used to getting there with full health, which is pretty tough to do. So but yeah, now we're coming up on Laser Skip, which yeah, and it was a good fight on greenlinenshirt's side.
Yeah.
Not taking too much damage, which is exactly what you want. Getting through pretty quickly. Yeah, these lasers do 4 hearts of damage.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're already at this much health, you take 1, it's not that bad. Trinex isn't... Trinex could be dangerous, but it's actually one of the slightly safer fights, all things considered.
Trinex is pretty reasonable most of the time. Occasionally, if you're not too quick or maybe set up a little bit incorrectly, you'll get hit on the second phase, but very rarely do you lose 4 hearts on the first phase here.
Yeah.
And getting up to 9 hearts for this fight is going to be a lot more comfortable, so probably no issues here. Yeah, should be fine. Yep, good job.
Very nice. 1 cycle backdoor strat. And it should be spin and 3 slashes here.
Or a double spin in 1.
Oh, double spin in 1, yeah. That's a lot. Well, I can never get that. I was good.
That double spin was a little too far away from Trinex for my liking, but it worked. So it's a consistent setup and it works.
Yep, there you go. JP's brought his run back a little bit. He's only down a minute from his PB, so we might still get a sub 135 out of this.
And didn't mention it, but Greenlineshirt had back-to-back golds in Swamp Palace and Misery Mire, so good stuff there.
Yep.
Especially after, having a pretty rough Ice Palace, to come back and answer with a couple of nice splits is always really good.
Yeah, one thing about late game splits is you get them late game golds you get more often because you don't see the late game as much when you're doing like regular runs. Especially like if this was a tournament race, GLS probably reset a few times earlier.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to just kind of push through. But as we mentioned earlier, a lot of this game is mental, and it's a long run, so kind of maintaining a good mental state is a big part of it. Especially in Ganon's Tower, which we did mention you're probably not going to die unless you're tilted, and then you probably will die.
Yeah.
GT is a challenging dungeon with RNG everywhere that you have to react to. A lot of really high execution rooms that when they go wrong tend to cost you, a heart here, a heart there. Not too much, but easy to mess up a bunch of them. Just barely missed the torch there a little bit early on the fire rod.
Yeah, I think they both runners did that same thing on that one torch.
Ooh. Oh, gets the short hook there, which you have just enough iframes with the hook to not take damage, but it is very scary. Really don't want to take extra hits from the rollers. They do 3 hearts of damage, which is really punishing for being a hazard.
Well, good start to JP's GT. A few technical boomerang shots here and there, but no problems yet.
Yeah, and we see no fairy there on Greenlineshirt's side.
How did he not get hit?
Both runners threw chomps cleanly. It's a miracle. Oh, that dash was scary.
That was also very scary, yeah.
We had a lot of very close calls this run. Remembering the arrows, that's good. Here we're going to get up to 21 on Brewers fan side with these arrows coming up that I mentioned that are directly in your way. They're right there. You got to run past them. So
let's see if he listened to me earlier.
Yeah,
I would say probably. Oh, maybe I was going to grab those 5. Okay.
Okay. Well, probably should have powdered it just so you didn't lose the magic.
Yeah.
Magic is pretty tight in GT as well, so we do have.
I take the seat.
Okay.
Especially now, Ice Armor is kind of going a little downhill here.
Yeah. Hate to see this happen because obviously you're losing a bunch of time in this room, but also this makes the Ganon fight a lot scarier.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, we're fine. Getting a couple extra bombs. That's okay. Yeah, 10 arrows right there we're going to grab. We are going to need to use 9 now to hit this switch and get past the mimics, assuming we don't miss. And mimics are 2 of the hardest rooms in the game, honestly.
Yeah, this is definitely the non-boss fight that I have the most trouble with.
You know, I guess I knew there was an anti-fairy there, but I would have never been able to tell you there was one there. So, able to get filled up on health a little bit. This is mimics. Okay.
Well, if he misses one here, he has to hope that he doesn't despawn a arrow here.
Okay.
Oof.
We're fine. All right, we're fine.
And pick it up 5 more just in case for later.
It's nice to have a couple arrows early in Gauntlet, although we're basically done using arrows for the rest of the run. They're no longer necessary.
Yeah, they're nice to take out some Stalfos, but other than that, yeah, I think we're done here.
Let's see. Here, we have to be careful of is magic now. We have enough that we're probably fine. An option would have been to go to that wall below, bomb it open, get a refill of both health and magic. There are a couple of fairies there. Oh, good laser skip. Oh, taking a hit on the way out.
Yeah, so what we might end up seeing is less fire rod usage in Gauntlet, namely Lane 2.
There are a couple of magic pots. Like there's a bottom left pot here that you can grab, especially maybe to throw at the guy. Not opting for it, so not a huge deal. But yeah, not using a fire rod on that skeleton, which is a very good place to use one, as it will always connect and kind of simplify the room a bit. Made a decision from being lower on magic. Almost got the 1 cycle there. With this spin, should be able to finish it off. Yep.
And he should have enough for Samaria and Lamp until he needs to pick up the big magic.
Getting that small magic, I think, guarantees it. I was uncertain, but I believe you were correct.
It was close.
Yeah.
But now it's guaranteed.
And now greenlinenshirt standing a little too close to try next for my liking.
He missed a spin too, so it's gonna be a 6 slash, I think.
5 slash.
5 slash.
Yeah, so got through it. We're fine. 1 dungeon left. No biggie there.
Yeah, JP has plenty of magic here. Lamp doesn't use too much. You're gonna get a refill in the next room.
Yeah, and even if we don't, small magic right there to guarantee the rod shot, so. Okay.
Wait,
taking the room.
Yeah, just in case you didn't despawn the tower.
Mm-hmm. Here we're going to see our last usage of bombs blow up in this suspiciously cracked wall. Was just a little bit too low, so when you throw the bomb and you're low like that, it gets stuck in the wall instead of riding the conveyor over to the crack, which very annoying.
I think that anti-fairy right there is, even if you pick a powder for only use it once, you almost always use it there.
Yeah. Okay, Mold.
Oh,
So that was a poke, so still need another spin here. Okay,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, especially with, Ganon likely going to be a little bit different. Extra health is nice. Otherwise, yeah, you have to get through this whole dungeon, which is the longest dungeon in the game, this boss fight Agga Tower 2, and the last boss fight Ganon, without any healing, which is challenging.
Yeah, especially when Ganon does, I think, 8 hearts of damage if you touch him.
Yeah, and then the fire bats do 4. And
yeah, and the Trident does 2.
Trident does 4 as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Something only does 2, because I know I get hit
The
for 2.
fire bats in phase 4 only do 2.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so very dangerous.
Yeah. And just barely missed a triple there. Would have been nice to get, but that was a tough setup.
Targets to finish this off. Oh, just one. Nice. Okay. Nice and easy 4 cycle. 4 cycles pretty. It's nice to do better. You can do 2, but It's not always possible.
Yeah.
3 is what you're looking for, but also not always possible. 4 is definitely, you're okay with that.
He's going to be a little hard pressed to get a sub 134 here, but still looking to be a pretty good time for JP.
Considering,
considered.
Yeah.
Consider how bad Tower Hero went. That was pretty much the only really huge mistake he had.
Skin fight here, it's going to be 12 hits, 3 slashes. We're going to hope to get a double spin, excellently done, which does 4 more. Another 4 from another double spin, that's 12 through phase 1. Another 12 hits, and yes, those bats are not normal. They spawned in a position he wasn't used to. Luckily, you have enough time to get like 15, 16 hits on Ganon, so with that, still able to clean up phase 2 there. Phase 3, we're going to need 4 hits in total, but we need to get him to stop warping, which he'll do eventually, I promise.
Are you sure about that? I'm pretty sure he's still warping from my race on Friday. So he had pretty decent warp luck here. He's only warped like 2-3 times so far.
Yeah, looks like 4 warps.
He might be able to go for a nice spin. Oh, no, never mind, he went right.
Yeah, opting for a Lamp Torch Glitch here, which is a tiny bit slower than Fire Rod Torch Glitch if you use Fire Rod in this fight, but you're not going to miss it. So I'm still opting for the Lamp a little bit here. Should be able to get triples on a lot of these and doubles on the rest. Yeah, so just want to conserve a little bit of magic by holding off on switching to Fire Rod here. And should be... I can't count.
I think that's like 7.
Yeah, just a few more spins here. Nice 10 arrow drop.
And that's it.
Nicely done.
For GG's in chat, for BrewersFanJP, he is going to be winning this race and moving on in the tournament.
Ooh, Jilla's going for the optimal Mimics too, which is very challenging. Messed it up just a little bit, but able to clean it up there. And yeah, good run.
134.19. His second best time recorded.
And just about a minute off PB. Especially with worse RNG, being within a minute or so of your PB always feels really good. So
yeah, considering he was behind by a minute 40 leaving pod, leaving a minute 50 leaving. I mean, we can assume that is probably one of his best Dark Worlds ever in a 101.10. I think if my math is right, 101.5.
I don't do math on stream. It's cursed.
I see 33.13 to 134.18, so that's 101.05. That's a really good Dark World.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and we can see just how challenging these gauntlet rooms can be when the enemies don't quite behave. Or maybe you just get a little bit off with how you're dealing with them. But nice gauntlet 3 there. Almost a really nice gauntlet 4, but that bottom Zazak did not behave. You can see how easy that room is with just a nice Fire Rod shot and then a slash to clean up the last guy. And that was a gold turtle rock for greenlinenshirt. So aside from the few small disasters, well, small, been a pretty nice run. Nicely done. And yeah, there is an invisible 4 there. You saw him kind of get caught up in the edge a little bit there. Runners do have it memorized where to stand. Ooh, okay. Didn't get hit.
He's a little low on magic. I don't know if he
should be fine.
Yeah,
should be fine. He has enough for 4 lamps. We only need 3, and then he'll pick up the 1 small magic.
And it sounds like we're joined by our race winner, JP. GG.
Thank you.
Other than Hera, that take her away from this, you had a pretty good run, I'd say.
Overall, yeah, there were definitely some bad parts. That's stupid. I started kind of bad with that misclick and the sanctuary, and then yeah, Hera. I should have taken the safety on the Hera, knowing that I was ahead a little bit there, but that happens. And I think the only other really bad part was my Ice Armos. Beyond that, felt like a decent run.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I mean, a minute behind PB is pretty good. Definitely some stuff I got to work on before my next race. But yeah, overall, I think I feel good about that. My bomb jumps, I got a little lucky on my pod jump because I just happened to get my setup quick. And Ice Palace was just really good.
Yeah, I think that was the main difference here was the bomb jump, just the bomb jumps, really, because both GLS did have a little trouble with both the hammering up and the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw they took a couple deaths in ice. I didn't really see what it was from, but
it was mainly just Ice Palace bomb.
The bomb jump. Yeah.
Okay.
Just missed it a little bit a few times, and then the room, I don't know, gets in your head, right? So
yeah, it does. Like, I know Hera was in my head after that first fall, so
yeah, but you win this race. You move on to face Kelpsy in the next round.
Yep. I know a lot of people have been wanting that matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be a matchup that a lot of people are gonna be looking forward to.
Yeah. Probably got to schedule quick because let me see if we can get it in over the weekend or something. I'll have to talk to Kelpsy, see what she wants to do for that.
Boyne wants 6 matches a day from every runner, or we're not going fast enough. Right? So
6 matches a day.
yeah, we really do appreciate you guys trying to schedule these quickly. So
yeah. Yeah, it would have been better to do it over the weekend, but, I knew waiting for the weekend would be too late, so I had to rush a little bit to make this one, but it worked out.
Alright, GLS entering the Agga 2 fight. He should be done within the next 3 minutes for the entire run. Ooh, triple to start. That's a good start. And this could be a triple, but he doesn't get blue balled. Oh, too early with the shot.
Yeah, Aghanim at the top of the screen there. The projectile will get eaten by the edge of the arena. Very frustrating. But yeah, for the Ganon fight, it did look like you weren't expecting the bats to be in that position.
Yeah, I was not expecting the bats to be in that position, but I had a nice recovery to keep the 1-1.
Yeah, very nice. I know in Randomizer you don't always fight Ice Armos, so the bats on the Ganon fight tend to be a little bit awkward anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just kind of unfortunate that the one that started it was right on top of you.
Yeah. It happens. I mean, like I said, I adapted pretty well, so I mean, it was a little frustrating, but in the end, it didn't really hurt that much.
No, yeah, it's pretty nice.
This is the Galaxy Brain strat. If you mess up the 1-1, just get top right corner every time.
Yep.
JP
I did promise Ganon would stop warping, but
did have good. JP did. So let's see if how many blue balls did you have, JP? We kind of lost count on both sides.
I think on Agga I had 4.
I think you were right. I think GLS had like 5. I think it was very close.
I think I gained like a couple seconds on him there, so 5 sounds right.
And then I do have a question here, since I see greenlinenshirt is not going for the quote-unquote free early spin on Ganon. Are you just not comfortable getting it, or do you just
not comfortable with it? Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely some strats I still need to pick up too. I don't know spooky action yet. I still need to figure that out. There's definitely some movement stuff I need to figure out too. But
yeah, I don't know if you were watching. There were a couple screens that I noticed it was maybe Rando Brain took over a little bit, but
definitely possible. Early on, I had to combat Rando Brain a little bit. not open a couple early chests.
We have me and you have to have me, you, Farley, and DT. We have to have a nice long sit down, the three of us with you, about opening which pots have arrows in them. Oh God, that was what tilts me the most from you.
We should be close. Just a few.
Yeah, he's doing the safer lamp and two spin strat.
Safer, but nothing about this fight is really very safe. So
no, just running 2.5 hearts, and there we go.
Nice run. Get your GGs in chat. All right, so we won't be getting an interview. Unfortunately, this will be greenlinenshirt's last run of the tournament, but we hope he continues. We hope he had a lot of fun. Did decline the interview, so unless he pops up in chat, we won't know for certain. But yeah, thanks for racing.
We'll never give this game up. Let's be real.
Yeah, thank you as well for commentary. We'll see how good things go against Kelpsy whenever that happens. I'm actually going to jump out because I know Chelsea and I forget her opponent are racing right now, I believe.
We're going to head over there to ZSR3 for that race.
Yep.
I'm sure we will.
Yep. We'll be rating them after this. But yeah, thank you to both of our runners. Thank you to our commentators. Let's see what's on the schedule for tomorrow. Pull that up. Let's see, we've got a couple no major we have a no major glitches match tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern between Ace Zero and Liam Atlas. We might get one at 4 p.m. Eastern between Coxel and McMonkey if we can get commentators for that. We do have someone versus Negazius at 3 p.m. Eastern. We also have Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 4 Winners Finals at 3 p.m. Eastern. And Skyward Sword Randomizer Tournament match at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be it for us. We're going to go over and say hi to ZeldaSpeedRuns_3. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.